My Bayfield 29 came with a diesel engine. It wasn't in the boat when I bought it, but the guy who, I guess, rescued the boat from its sunken condition took the motor out and had it in his shed for a few years. And when I brought it home, I just laid it right here and covered it in plastic. But I need to get it inside because I got to do some work on it over the winter, get it fixed up. There's a few things missing on it. I haven't heard it running. All I know is it does crank, so hopefully it works. This is a YSM12 Yanmar, 12 horsepower, I'm guessing. And that's the original motor that was in the B29. Bit of rust, bit of stuff to clean up. I'm pretty sure it's missing an alternator and maybe a starter and maybe a water pump. But we'll get it in the basement and see what happens. All right, we got the engine in where I'm going to work on it. It's a bit of a state. Really don't know what everything is for, but I figure one piece at a time. It's like Johnny Cash. Got a bunch of miscellaneous parts here, like a starting motor. Got the coupling thing. And the water pump, which needs to be rebuilt. And I'm not sure what this is. And quite a bit of work to do. I don't know if it's worth fixing up, or now that I got it in here and really sizing it up, I don't know if it's worth fixing up, or maybe I should just get something different or new. I have to see what happens here. So we're here looking at this motor today. My father-in-law came out and he's good with this stuff and gave me a few really helpful pointers about it, and downloaded the owner's manual, which is huge because I can see now what every part belongs to, what it does. Like this is a governor. This is the injector right here, and this is what we worked at a bit today. Just everything is in the owner's manual. I know it sounds simple, but it was really huge to get that downloaded, and he found that for me. Because now I can just see what everything does. See what parts are for what, as I know nothing about this engine. So the main problem is that it won't crank. It seems to be jammed up. So when I bought it in the spring, it did crank then. It was moving then. So first thing I got to do is get that freed up somehow. So I got to get at the cylinder and put some, I guess, some loosening oil, lubricant or something down around and try to get it moving. So not sure how I'm going to do that yet. We took the cover off the valves, see if there was an opening there, but there's no real way to get it in there. Not that I can tell. I guess we'll just keep plugging away and try to get at it somehow. And if we can get this cranking, then I can really look forward to it working again someday, hopefully. I still haven't gotten at the piston yet to free up the cylinder. But while I'm waiting, I got to try to get some information on how to get this this injector out. I'm not sure if it twists out or is just compressed in or how that comes out. So I got to figure that out first. And while I'm in the process of that, I got this shaft here. I got all the parts for the shaft, right from the propeller, bolt. I got it all put back together the way I took it apart. That's the tail piece right here. Now, the big problem I got with this one is that this propeller, or this tail piece, needs a new cutlass bearing put in. I have the cutlass, but I tried to get it out of the tail piece, but it's pretty near impossible for me because it's compressed. So the cutlass bearing is the piece that's inside here. It's kind of in the tail piece, the part that bolts onto the boat that the shaft goes up through. Let's see if I can get this out here. And there's a key in here somewhere. Now I got the key in the bag. There's a, I guess, a shear off key. It's like a shear pin, but it's a key. I'm guessing that's how it works anyway. Inside of here is a cutlass bearing. Now, the cutlass bearing is compressed in. You can't really see it good there now, but it's basically this part in right here, and I got it destroyed. They're trying to get it out. But what it is, so it's this thing right here. So it's what the shaft goes through, and water can go in there and it kind of lubricates it, and the shaft spins around in here, Now I got to get that one in there, but I got to get the old one out first. And I tried my best to get it done, but I don't want to damage the inside of the, I guess it's brass in here. So there's a machine shop just down the road. So later on, I'm going to take that down there and get them to compress it in for me. So here's all the parts that goes on the shaft. So basically, I'll just explain how this goes. That goes on once your shaft goes out through the tailpiece right here. So if the stern of the boat is down here, this goes up against the stern of the boat, and this goes inside the boat, and this is outside the boat. So your shaft comes down through here, which is what your propeller goes to. And then inside here is this kind of apparatus with a pipe in the middle, or a piece of, you know, rubber tubing in the middle. So the water goes in through here, and that keeps everything cool, keeps the shaft cool as it's spinning. And up here, inside here, there's some packing gland, which kind of only allows, well, the way it's supposed to be, it just allows a little bit of water in at a time, maybe like a drop or two every few seconds. I think there's a rating on it, but and so you just tighten this up until you get the right amount of tightness on the packing. So the water comes up through here as a lubrication thing. This keeps from coming out around, and the packing keeps from going in your boat. That's basically how it works from what I can understand. I'm just taking off the exhaust manifold. I don't know if it's supposed to look like that in there or not, but it's pretty cruddy. Now, I don't know if that'll get me to a cylinder or not. That's where the exhaust comes out. I gotta try to get some loosener in there so I can free up that piston. I'm not sure if that gives me access. I think I'm still gonna have to take off the fuel injector there. So I'm gonna take this plate off right here because I'm thinking that goes to the crank, and maybe I can access the pistons from there and get a bit of grease in there. But before I do that, I gotta take this thing off. Just filter. I got it almost off there. Get that off and out of the way. There's one bolt that's kind of hiding in behind that, so it's always one. All right, so I got all the bolts off this. Well, let's see where this brings us. There, but I'm not sure what this is here. Looks like there's a little door or something here I can take off. I'll see what's behind that door, I guess. All right, so I'm thinking this must just pull right out of here. Oh. Okay. So I was thinking this came off so I could see in there, but when I was looking at it, it almost looks like it wasn't right, because to tighten these up, you had to get at something behind, and you can't do it if that's the bolt that's taking them off. So just seemed to me like there had to be some other way. When I pulled on it, the whole thing just kind of came off like you just saw. Let's see what we see up here. The big reveal. Yeah, you see, so you gotta like hold them in from behind to. There. Okay, that's good. So we got a crank, and I don't know if we can get access to the piston there to kind of grease it up or not, but just looking in there, I might be able to get some loosening oil on the piston that way. I'm not sure, to be honest. If that's the crank that moves the piston, well, the piston must be in there somewhere. It doesn't look too bad, actually. Not inside. I don't know what I'm really looking for, but looks like a lot of condensation or something. It's almost like the light's glancing off something there. So, okay. I guess it kind of makes sense that right in here, what looks like a full empty cavity, that there is actually oil. can see the bottom of the piston right up there, and the piston chamber. So I think I can get some loosening oil up there. This is penetrating oil, liquid wrench. As long as it moves the piston, I'll be happy, because I'll just drain the oil a couple of times afterwards and get all the old crud and different things out of there anyway. So if I ever do get it going. So let's see here. Now let it settle. I got basically the wall of the piston wall coated with this stuff, and I'll let it settle for a while, and then I'll see if I can turn that crank. And if I do, that'd be great, because that's really the first thing that needs to be done. All right, so I've had penetrating oil in it now for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So let's see if I can get here to I think you need something longer, get a bit more torque on it. That's good or bad. Oh, that don't sound good. That's definitely bad. I think I got something stripped out in there now. I hope nothing's ruined there, but I don't know for sure. Well, seems like still a bit of pressure on it, so I'll let her percolate some more, I guess. See what happens tomorrow. This is the compartment, I believe, to the oil or sort of water coolant. I must say, so far all the bolts are turning pretty good. That's a bonus. I did put some penetrating oil on them all, but still. That's pretty bad looking down there. That's where the water goes through to cool the engine, so maybe that's normal. I guess if anything was going to be corroded, it would be in there. Since that's seawater. Told me that this fuel injector here doesn't screw out, a round screw, or come up that way, but it's just compressed in this way, which makes sense because that's why these bolts are here, to hold a clamp down that holds it in place this way. So, you know, this doesn't seem to be doing the job. I really need to get some loosener up on top of the piston, which I can access with this out. So I'm going to try to put some loosening oil on this earlier in around here. I think it comes apart at this joint right here, so I'm going to try to hit it out with a hammer. We'll see what happens. Had to put some more oil on it, I guess. So that's the fuel pump there. So sometimes these things that go in kind of keep it from rotating. It might not be the piston seats at all. So I'll take these couple of things off and see if that helps. Looks like that got some springs in there. I better be careful with that. Okay, so this is the primary fuel pump here. Or it's secondary, I think. I don't know what I'm saying. It's one of the fuel pumps. I think this got like a pump arm on it as well that goes into the motor. It's very important and be careful when you're taking nuts out to save every little part. It's so easy to lose. So what I usually do is when I take something off, and I don't think that would have held anything up, but I'll take it off anyway. Not sure what that thing does there. Maybe it goes just like that. So I always put the bolts right back on so I don't lose them. Or forget where they came from. I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to take this whole unit right here off. I think it's split right there. That should give me right access to the head. And I can get those 4 bolts there to come out. Let's see what happens. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I did have to go with a breaker bar to get those bolts turned. I don't know. Keep trying to move Brown very tight. He must be torqued on, I would assume. Got 4 bolts out. Now, I don't know how this comes off. Let's see. Try not to damage the gasket here. Oh my, what have I done? Anyway, that's a major part off there. All right, so I got the head off. That's the piston right there. I got it cleaned up a bit. Still not moving, but this is the head. And I think they're valves. And I think they're supposed to open and close, I think. But it don't look like it's going to be doing much of that in their current state because it's pretty messed up. But I guess I just have to clean it. Anyway, it's progress. I got right to the cylinder head. So I got some lubricating oil on that now, so hopefully that'll free up. Hoping. So I made a decision. I've decided to not proceed with this engine. There's a lot of issues with it. It's still not cranking, so it's still seized. I could probably free that up if I worked on it hard enough. But there's a few things to consider. First of all is the cost. Like I know right off the top that I need 4 new engine mounts. They're about $100 each. That's $400. I need a starting motor. That's a couple $100 at least, maybe 3. So say $700. I need a new water pump kit, or a whole pump. So that's another couple $100. You know, you're up at $900. Not to mention probably a new gasket kit for all these parts that I've taken off. The gaskets don't look good in a lot of situations where I took items off, like the fuel pumps and the cylinder head. So all new gaskets for that, maybe another couple $100. I've estimated I'm probably up to around $1,500, and that's just what I know about. On top of that, when I consider that the cylinder head is an absolute mess, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get that working. It might never work. There's a crack in the water outlet here, right by my thumb. There's a crack up there. That looks like it was probably repaired before. So there's a lot of work, and plus I have to get the cutlass bearing in the prop shaft. A lot of things to consider. I would say I got at least $1,500 that I can see that I can spend just on parts, and I'd say that's a conservative estimate. So when you consider that, And you consider that after that, it may not even work because it is an old motor. It's made in the 1970s, late 70s, I believe. Great engines. But this one was submerged, and salt water must have gotten in it, and it's, you know, just, I think it's just corroded too much inside. And I've talked to a couple of friends of mine. One was a diesel mechanic, and he advised me, Tony advised me not to, it's just not worth it. And I had drilled down looking at it yesterday, and, you know, same thought. So I decided that I'm not going to proceed any further with this diesel engine. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go with an outboard, no inboard engine at all. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, my Bayfield 25. Now this one's out of my Bayfield 29, as you know. My Bayfield 25, in my other videos, the green one, that has an inboard engine. It is a gas engine. And this summer I had all kinds of problems with a simple little thing in that engine, which was the impeller that pulls water coolant through to keep it cold. It didn't work properly. She wasn't distributing cooling water properly, so I couldn't use the engine much of the summer. The problem is that I couldn't get at the impeller to get it off. It's right in the back of the engine, so I had to take the engine out basically to get it repaired, which I probably will do. But the point is, there's always some issue, you know, with older diesel engines or older inboard engines. And a lot of them you just can't fix because the boat is in the water or the prop is going out through the hole. It's just a lot of considerations when you got problems, especially big problems. So I'm thinking an outboard engine is much better. The only thing I don't like about an outboard engine is how it looks on the back of the boat. I mean, I got a beautiful Bayfield. There's a nice classic look to it. It's got some wood on the front, nice bowsprit, and I'm going to have to hang a outboard engine off the back, which I'm not fussy about, but that's the only thing. I would say 9.8 would push my 29 Bayfield along just fine. It's 7,500 pounds. I had it checked when the hoist lifted it out of the water there. So, you know, 10 horsepower, 9.8, 9.9 is going to push that along fine. At 15, I know will be more than sufficient. This is a 12 horsepower. Now I know it's different with regards to prop size and so on and so forth, but a 15 horsepower is going to push it along fine, or even a 10. I'm not sure what I'm going to get yet, but the bottom line is this engine is a done deal. And the beauty about outboard, I think, is that if you do have problems with it, you can take it off, take it home, take it to your garage, get it fixed, take it somewhere, get repaired by a professional. It's just so much easier than dealing with stuff like this. If you're going on a long voyage, you can remove your diesel engine, store it inside, and then when you get close to a port where you need the engine again, you can just put it back on the bracket and way to go again. So the only thing I would, I think, like to have if I do have an outboard engine is the controls inside, just like it would be for this one, right on the pulpit there, so you can, you know, forward, reverse, speed, etc., right from the cockpit. And that can be arranged. So that's it for now. This diesel engine is going to be put back together and laid over there in the corner for who knows how long, maybe forever. And I'm going to go with an outboard engine. Got the engine all put back together, ready to go over in the corner. If anybody has any suggestions about, you know, if I did the wrong thing here, maybe I should continue working on it. Maybe you had an old motor like this and you've seen worse. I don't know. I really have no experience with this at all. Although I think I'm right, but you never know. Maybe somebody thinks I'm wrong. If you could leave the comments, or leave it in the comments, please. Also, if you have any suggestions about what type or size of outboard engines to get. It's a 29-foot Bayfield. She's 7,500 pounds. Just leave it in the comments as well, please, if you don't mind. I had a lot of really good comments and suggestions about how to fix my standing rigging, the buckles or the bends in the turnbuckle. I'm going to try those out soon, but I do appreciate that. Also, if you haven't subscribed already and you want to, that'd be awesome. Share, like, etc. Thanks very much for watching, and take care.